Good morning, it's Saturday, and I thought I would just do another kind of part 2 to the walk-around video for my Lowrider S. Got the tripod out, so I thought I would show what I look like on the bike, just for my height as a reference. I'm 5'10"-ish, and I just wanted to show that what someone around my height would look like. I think this is a great platform because if you're tall or if you're on the shorter side, you're still able to flat foot pretty well, even if you're several inches shorter than I am. So just hop on it real quick just for some perspective, and then I'm going to go over a few more of the things I've done and just kind of do a little more detailed look at these mods in case you want to try and tackle any of these yourself. So starting with the fairing again, I just wanted to take it off really quick just to show you how easy it is with this quick release from Memphis Shades. Yeah, so it's just here and here. That hooks over, clamps down, then you got two more under there that do the same thing. So something I actually have to do this morning is adjust my headlight because I hadn't ridden at night for a while after I put on this fairing, and when I did, I noticed that it was too high. I could barely see any light on the road, so I'm gonna adjust that right now. It's just a wrench on either side. You just loosen it and then you can manipulate it. Memphis Shades gives you this extension kit, so this can move up and down, and then the whole thing can come up or down as well, so you have a lot of options. But I'm going to try and keep it as close to where I have it right now, just because this was how I had it to make it look as symmetrical as I could, but I'm going to have to move it a little bit. But now that I have this off, I can show all this kit really is. It's just two of these straps on either side. You have a headlight extension kit that you have to do. You have the shroud and this kind of covering. And it's important to note that when you're ordering this kit, you need to order these things separately. If you just order the fairing, all you're gonna get is that with these. You need to order the windscreen separately. You need to order this shroud separately and this kind of cap on the end here. Otherwise, if you don't get that, you're just gonna get the fairing and you're gonna have kind of this big gap. And I've seen a few people on YouTube do that because they didn't know. So just take some time, and it explains everything on their website. So yeah, that's that. Now it's kind of looking like a street bob. So I'm gonna fix that right now and then throw it back on. Let's see. So for these again, just to kind of talk about everything a little more in depth, because last time I didn't have enough time. All you need is a screwdriver, like a flathead, and then there's a little divot in here, and you just put it in, and instead of trying to pry it all you do is just turn it clockwise and it'll pop off, and you won't have to worry about cracking your these lenses here. And so all you do is you just plug the new one in, put the new cap back on. I ordered these with the lights, and that's it. You do the same on that side, and then you do the same on the back. These didn't throw any codes when I did it, but I would look around online for some troubleshooting. I've seen people say they run their hazards for 3 minutes after they do it, and it should clear any codes, but I didn't have any problems, so I don't understand why this would happen to anyone with the same bike using the same lights. And again, this is the Rogue Rider Industries SIGS Black Label LED. I think it's like version 2 or something. And the same for the rear as well. So that's that. And then the seat, I don't need to go over again just because that was very straightforward. Let me get the tripod set up, and then I'll talk about this exhaust a little bit more. Okay, so this exhaust I did myself. My brother and I did it. Like I said, it took a few hours just because we were taking our time. We've never done this before. Just follow the directions. There's some videos online too. And most of the exhausts you do are going to be have a relatively similar process. So the idea is just you're going to be freeing the headers here from the engine, and then you're going to have some kind of mounting bracket here on your stock exhaust. So that's got to be released. There's a few bolts there, and then you have your bolts here. They should give you a new gaskets for connecting the new exhaust back to the engine. But if they don't, just do your best not to bend the original ones, because once you bend them, you don't want to reuse them. So just be very careful when you take those off. And then really it's just the same thing. You're just putting them back in, making sure those gaskets are on, making sure you got a tight seal, making sure nothing is touching, and then usually there's some kind of spring system here that holds the exhaust in place, and then you've just got your mounting here. And then what's really important when you're done, especially if you have a stainless one like this, if you have a black one, it's a little bit different cleaning process, but when you're installing this, you're getting your hands and your oils all over everything. And so if you fire the bike up, those prints and everything are just going to burn into the exhaust, and it's going to look discolored and not very uniform. So I would use, soap and water, hydrogen peroxide, whatever. You get it all clean, make sure there's no prints, and then you can turn it on. I did my best, but it's not perfect. There's still some stuff, but this ain't a show bike, so I don't really care. It doesn't look that bad. And what was actually pretty tricky for me, I don't know why I was having such a problem with it, is, I'm gonna move us closer one second. Okay, so with this exhaust, since I've got both the headers coming around the front here, I had to put spacers on for this mid control. And so there's going to be a spacer kit for here and for here. So you've got the rear brake fixture coming down and around for here, and then you've got your bracket for your foot peg. So you're gonna, this for me, this got shifted over one, and then you've got some kind of spacer kit. Well, the spacer kit has a fitting so that this can be shifted over a little bit, and then you've got the rear brake. So this is the part that had just like the smallest margin of error for me. Let's see if I can show it. So here, this piece is very close to the exhaust, and it gets even closer when you apply pressure to the rear brake. but it doesn't touch, so that's what I was going for. So you may have to kind of wiggle stuff around, but eventually you want to get to a spot where nothing is touching, everything's tight, and everything's all snug and secure. So that took a little while just because I don't know, maybe I couldn't find the space or something. But anyway, it's the same process on the other side, but a lot easier because you don't have the brake system. So that's kind of the final part of installing the exhaust. Just something to keep in mind. So very important to stay organized and keep all your hardware somewhere where you're not going to lose it. And just, yeah, you don't want to lose anything. I had to take a couple trips to the hardware store just to like get tools and stuff. So just do good prep, and then once you actually are ready to install it, it'll be no big deal. This is the new Derby cover I got. Like I said, I already had the 117 logo on the heavy breather intake, so I thought this would look cool, just make the bike a little more unique. But yeah, this is nice. I'm trying to remember where I got it from. It wasn't, what's that place called? I'll put it in the description. Frick, it's not Thrash and Supply, it's something else. Well, if anyone knows, you can comment. I'll put it in. But yeah, I like that. And then over here, just got our Moon's MC shifter. It's pretty easy install, very easy actually. They came in 2 pieces, so that and the peg, and yeah, it's solid and looks good. Everything's kind of matching up now, so I'm happy with it. No problems so far. And then just to show the gauge real quick and the controls, on the left hand here you've got your horn, you've got your brights, and this is to toggle them or spam it or whatever, and then this is to cycle through the menu. And so your little display here, that's going to show trip A, trip B, how many miles are on the bike, the odometer, and then you also have a miles to empty gauge for your fuel, which is kind of helpful. And then you do have a fuel light that pops on, and even if you're not on the miles to empty menu, once the fuel light comes on, it's going to automatically pop up and show you how many miles you have left to empty. So that's kind of a cool little feature. And then you've got left turn signal, and then over here you've got the right turn signal. You've got the kill switch, this power on, just like your accessory lights, and then hazards and ignition. So that's it. Pretty minimalist, but I will say I do like this gauge better than the one that's on the Lowrider ST. I think the Lowrider ST is a really good looking bike, but for me, I like just the old school tack that I can look at. So, and it is nice having it moved up. I didn't have an older Lowrider S where it was down here, but just kind of, if I can imagine it being down here, I probably wouldn't look at it too much just because I'd want to keep my eyes on the road. So this does help with that. So if you're used to the other one, then it's cool. I've been asked if this gets in the way of my legs at all. It does not. The heavy breathing. I think you could see that in the earlier on in the video, but no, it's good, and it's not near the exhaust either. So even though that heat shield's pretty small, you don't even need it. So yeah, it's I'm happy with it. No complaints. The only thing that is the rear brake is pretty mushy, but it's not that big of a deal. If you're good at planning out your engine braking and all that, you know, having the rear brake do a little bit of work kind of does the trick. I hardly ever use my front brake at all. So yeah, that's all I got for this right now. So I'm just gonna loosen up that headlight, move it around a little bit, and then throw that fairing back on and go out for a ride today. And I'll keep messing with that mic in my helmet so I can get some good audio. I might do one for my helmet if I'm going to be talking, and then I might hide another mic somewhere in here just so I can get some crisp engine audio and hopefully not have any wind noise. So we'll see. It's a process, but yeah, I'm loving this bike. Thanks for watching.